In the Balkans, an all too familiar scene: ethnic violence, political protests, and for now, Western reluctance to get involved.
The Minnesota tobacco trial and the documents that could prove cigarette ads were targeted at teenagers.
Hello and welcome to WorldView. I'm Gene Randall in Washington.
And I'm Lori Dew at the CNN Center in Atlanta. The situation is heating up in the Yugoslav Federation province of Kosovo. Reporters are being kept away, but Serbian police are reportedly continuing their crackdown on Albanian separatists. We get the latest from CNN's Nick Robertson.
Police gathered in northern Serbia Saturday to bury their colleagues who died in fighting in Kosovo. The funerals came as Serbian authorities announced they would continue their crackdown against the ethnic Albanian majority in Kosovo. The southern Serbian province is entering its fourth day of a large-scale police operation, targeted, authorities say, against the terrorists who attacked them. Official figures put the dead at 28, but Albanian sources say the figure is much higher. Independent verification is impossible as police bar humanitarian organizations and journalists from access to the fighting. Smoke rising from a distant hillside confirms the offensive is still underway, and in villages passed over by the fighting, bodies litter the ground. Many Albanian women and children fled those villages after police warned them anyone who stayed behind would be treated as a terrorist. This woman gave birth to her child while on the run. She says she has no idea where the father is. Another who'd made her way to Pristina, the capital of the province, told waiting journalists how she'd escaped the fighting. Running, she said, through gunfire and shelling to get her 5 children to safety. More people have been seen fleeing across the border into neighboring Macedonia, a quarter of whose population are ethnic Albanian. The current crisis is fueling fears that tensions that have simmered here for years may be about to boil.
And I fear that if it continues, we will be involving ourselves into the violent dynamic rather than into the dynamic of trying to see if there is some rational way out of the situation.
A situation that is showing no signs of changing anytime soon. With police operations continuing, there are growing concerns that more people may be forced to flee their homes. However, with only women and children turning up so far, people here are beginning to question what's happened to the men. Nick Robertson, CNN, Pristina.
There is strong reaction to the violence in Kosovo province. The group Human Rights Watch has called for an investigation by the UN War Crimes Tribunal. And Secretary of State Madeleine Albright today issued a stern warning to Serbia at a press conference in Rome.
We are not going to tolerate any return to the politics of divide and rule anywhere in the former Yugoslavia. We are not going to stand by and watch the Serbian authorities do in Kosovo what they can no longer get away with doing in Bosnia.
I think what we are seeing again, like the Bosnia situation, is tough rhetoric masking inaction. What I understand is that the contact group, which meets Monday in London, is going to recommend further diplomatic action and economic sanctions. That will not stop Milosevic. Only the credible threat of force will.
In Belgrade today, some 50 women from the anti-war pressure group Women in Black took to the streets protesting the Serb crackdown. The group was also active during the civil war in Bosnia. There were banners waved, and the women shouted, "Stop the war." U.S. envoy to the Balkans, Robert Gelbard, is due in Belgrade on Monday and is to visit Kosovo the following day.
Back in the United States, in Minnesota, a judge Saturday ordered cigarette makers to turn over thousands of secret internal documents by Monday. The papers are to be used in the state's trial against the tobacco industry. According to one of the documents, a tobacco company looked into the potential smoking habits of children as young as 5. And Joe Camel, said to be a big part of R.J. Reynolds' effort to attract young people to its cigarettes, is still around, at least until September, as part of a merchandise catalog. The company began taking down billboards and ending its print ads in July. President Clinton used his weekly radio address today to push for anti-tobacco legislation. He challenged lawmakers to enact legislation aimed at penalizing cigarette companies for getting teens hooked on nicotine. The president says it's out of control.
Smoking kills more people every day than AIDS, alcohol, car accidents, murders, suicides, drugs, and fires combined. Nearly 90% of those smokers lit their first cigarette before they turned 18. Today, the epidemic of teen smoking is raging throughout our nation as one by one our children are lured by multi-million-dollar marketing schemes designed to do exactly that.
Republicans responded that illegal drugs are an even greater threat than tobacco and accused Mr. Clinton of negligence on that problem. The president's remarks are part of a stepped-up effort by the White House to push for tobacco legislation now stalled in Congress.
A major presence in the investigation of President Clinton's relationship with former White House intern Monica Lewinsky is reportedly being told to leave the media spotlight. CNN has learned that attorney Bill Ginsburg was called on the carpet Thursday by the judge overseeing the grand jury investigation here in Washington. Judge Norma Holloway Johnson is said to have told Ginsburg his frequent appearances on TV are jeopardizing the investigation and his client. Ginsburg arrived back at his home in Los Angeles late Friday. He had spent time this week trying to get Judge Johnson to enforce what he says is an immunity deal with independent counsel Ken Starr. There is division among top Republicans in Washington about Starr's work. Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott says it may be time for Starr to shut down the Lewinsky investigation, but his counterpart in the House says Starr should carry on.
I'm not going to comment on somebody else's statement. My personal view is that what the White House has done is undermine the rule of law by deliberately engaging a campaign of trying to smear an investigation by a lawfully appointed independent counsel working within the Justice Department. And I don't think that Judge Starr should move a step faster than he needs to or a step slower.
Well, an independent counsel probably won't be appointed to investigate bribery allegations against U.S. Labor Secretary Alexis Herman. Senior Justice Department officials tell CNN there is a growing consensus against taking this big step. At issue is whether Herman accepted cash bribes while she worked at the White House. The final report on Herman is due on Attorney General Janet Reno's desk early next week.
Justice spelled out for two former Nazis.
When we return, an Italian court says no to the appeals of war criminals.
And back here in Washington, awards given in the name of science.
We look around. We look within. We examine rules and rights. Today's New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of understanding that others miss. We look closer. We look further. The New York Times. Expect the world.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, these people were like family to me. Remember I met Jeannie at the company picnic?
It was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, taking the new job was a tough decision. Deciding what to do with my 401k money was another. I didn't want to mess it up. I called T. Rowe Price. You know, you told me about the mutual funds. Yeah, well, they sent me a rollover kit, you know. Took me through it step by step.
Well, made it easy for you.
Yeah, piece of cake.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 50 years.
It's going to be a good job.
Yeah.
How do world-class companies keep growing? With world-class sales, marketing, and customer service systems from Siebel.
Here at Nations Bank Montgomery Securities, Siebel software helped us immediately identify and capture over $40 million in new sales.
Compact generated a full return on investment in just 90 days with Siebel Sales Enterprise.
World-class companies, world-class results with Siebel, global leader in sales, marketing, and customer service systems.
A moment of goodwill brought to you by Bud Light, a proud sponsor of the 1998 Goodwill Games. While New York is known as the true melting pot, it's only fitting that the most diverse city in the world hosts this most diverse sporting event.
Don't worry. I won't be long.
Oh, okay.
Psst. Hey, buddy. Over here, in petites.
Whoa. Have a Bud Light.
This is awesome.
Yeah, we love shopping.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Touchdown!
As the Goodwill Games visit the Empire State this summer, superstars from over 60 countries will bring spectacular talents and diverse backgrounds. Not only a multi-sport event, but a multicultural event as well. These international games certainly reflect their host city. This moment of goodwill has been brought to you by Bud Light.
Tonight on Larry King Weekend, she's in jail for refusing to testify against President Clinton about Whitewater. An encore presentation of my conversation with Susan McDougall tonight, 9 Eastern on CNN.
I'm watching you, CNN.
The accountant who gunned down 4 Connecticut State Lottery colleagues Friday, then killed himself, tried to contact a newspaper reporter the day before. The Hartford Courant says 35-year-old Matthew Beck left a voicemail message Thursday for a reporter who covers gambling. Beck's call was never returned because the reporter was out of town. Police in Connecticut are still trying to piece the incident together. CNN's Cynthia Tornquist has more.
Saturday, police combed the grounds of Connecticut State Lottery headquarters, looking for evidence left over from Friday's deadly shooting spree that left 5 people dead. Meanwhile, flags flew at half-staff, and residents laid flowers at the crime scene in remembrance of the victims.
We just wanted to bring some flowers down and let them know we're thinking about them, and our prayers are with them.
35-year-old Matthew Beck, a disgruntled accountant employed with the state lottery, shot and killed 3 supervisors, then chased the lottery's president into the parking lot where Beck shot and killed him. Beck then turned the gun on himself. The victims were Vice President of Operations Frederick Rubelman, Lottery President Ott Brown, and Chief Financial Officer Linda Milnarchik. Michael Logan, an informations manager, was also killed. The shooting sent other employees running for their lives. The state is offering them counseling services.
Many people witnessed the shooting of Ott Brown or heard shots, heard people pleading for their lives. That's a very emotionally powerful event, so that, you know, and people will have flashbacks of that. People may have trouble sleeping, nightmares about the incident.
The incident came just 1 week after Beck returned from a 4-month medical leave over job-related stress. He had been awaiting the award of back pay for performing duties beyond his accounting background. This grievance wasn't the only complaint with the lottery. Saturday's Hartford Courant reports Beck alleged that the lottery inflated jackpot amounts to stir ticket sales. Regular lottery drawings resumed Saturday, but were not televised. The shooting has area residents worried about their own safety on the job.
You can puzzle over why something like this happens forever, but I mean, there's no good answer. And in the end, all you can do is pick up the pieces.
Hopefully it won't come to the point where we all have to go through metal detectors.
As state lottery employees prepare to bury their colleagues, almost everyone is looking for a better explanation of what set the gunman off. Cynthia Tornquist, CNN, Newington, Connecticut.
Iraqi President Saddam Hussein was on the move Saturday as he visited northern Iraq. State-run TV showed crowds shouting pro-government slogans. It's believed the Iraqi leader has spent the last several months in the capital, Baghdad, during the standoff over UN weapons inspectors. An inspection team led by American Scott Ritter, meanwhile, spent a second day in the field. There were no reports of interference, but reporters were barred from covering Ritter's activities. In January, Iraq barred Ritter from working after labeling him a spy. And U.S. Joint Chiefs Chairman Henry Shelton is in Saudi Arabia, where he'll meet with U.S. troops. On Monday, Shelton is due in Kuwait, where he meets with Kuwaiti military leaders. U.S. forces, which continue daily exercises, are expected to remain in the Persian Gulf region for several months.
In Italy, 2 former Nazis convicted of war crimes get jail time instead of freedom after an appeals court upheld their convictions. We get more on the story from CNN's Rome Bureau Chief Gail Young.
No, we do have signs of some more erosion.
Stephen Brambold knows it's only a matter of time before these houses fall into the sea, are demolished, or are moved.
The experts have told us that even if we don't get any more rain in the future, this cliff will continue to erode for at least the next month to month.
We're having some difficulties. We'll be back in a moment.
When was the last time you saw the world and felt that it, for once, revolved around you? When was the last time you watched an eagle fish for salmon, rode a Gladstone train, or saw a bear from your balcony? And when was the last time you witnessed Mother Nature recreating herself? Holland America Line. It's time.
We look at the home. We see the world. When is information an invasion? The New York Times announces Circuits, a new section every Thursday for technophiles and technophobes. Once we go forward, can we ever go back? The New York Times. Expect the world.
Yeah, we're on our way back right now, so if you can have the design on my desk.
How long's she been on that phone?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
We're just gonna have
With Nextel, you never pay roaming charges. Instead, when you travel, your home market rate travels with you anywhere on the Nextel national network.
one little bit on it, it's gonna throw the whole thing.
So go ahead. Take care of business at home.
Got another call coming in.
Or at hand.
Hello?
Hi, what's it gonna be, the fries or the rice?
Nextel. You've never used a phone like this before.
At Hampton Inn, we guarantee you'll be satisfied. Because we do the little things right. So the bigger things just sort of take care of themselves. Hampton Inn. We make it easy to take it easy.
In Italy, 2 former Nazis were convicted of war crimes, and they got jail time instead of freedom after an appeals court upheld their convictions. More now from CNN's Rome Bureau Chief Gail Young.
The ex-Nazi had appealed to the Italian court to clear his name. Instead, he was slapped with a new and tougher sentence, life in prison. Erich Pribka and his colleague Karl Haas were found guilty in the Nazi massacre of 335 Italian civilians during World War II. Prosecutors say Pribka compiled the list of those to be killed, then ticked off their names as the victims were each shot in the head in a cave outside of Rome. Pribka, who lived openly for decades in Argentina, says he was just following orders. The 85-year-old contends he is being unfairly prosecuted because he is one of the few SS officers still alive. This is the 3rd trial in Italy of Pribka. The first court acquitted him. The second gave him a 5-year jail sentence. Both decisions were widely criticized in Italy, especially by the families of the 75 Jews who were among the victims of the massacre. The Pribka trial is an emotional issue in Italy, which is still grappling with its role in World War II. Pribka's life sentence was applauded by many in the courtroom, who say that after a half a century, justice is finally being served. Gail Young, CNN, Rome.
Back in this country, a powerful strain of the strep virus shows no signs of abating. In Texas, worried parents are flooding information hotlines seeking advice to protect their children. Strep A can cause flu-like symptoms, sore throat, rash, abdominal pain, and infections such as toxic shock syndrome, which could be life-threatening. Already 117 cases of strep A have been reported in Texas since December, 40 of them children. 26 people have died. Doctors recommend frequent hand washing and warn against sharing eating utensils to avoid the infection.
A winter storm is taking its toll on much of Colorado this weekend. Fresh snow fell on much of the region Saturday, and a blizzard warning is posted in the extreme east central region of the state. And they're cleaning up in Malibu, California, after a rock slide came down this hillside, closing a section of the Pacific Coast Highway. Construction is expected to start next week to protect Pacifica, California homeowners from the sea. CNN's Susan Reed has an update on the homes hanging on the cliff.
Bramvold knows it's only a matter of time before these houses fall into the sea, are demolished, or are moved.
The experts have told us that even if we don't get any more rain in the future, this cliff will continue to erode for at least the next month to month and a half.
For many homeowners, the decision of what to do is complicated by banks, liens, and mortgage companies. The city has decided not to wait.
The city will start to lay rocks and start the building of that seawall as soon as possible because the more damage that occurs, the harder it's going to be.
The city needs to protect the street and the infrastructure below it. Because of that, they may even pick up the tab for maintaining the seawall. Originally, they wanted homeowners to pay. But part of the problem here is that homeowners didn't maintain the previous seawall. The erosion has slowed down because we've had a week without any heavy rain, but it's not over yet. El Nino is expected to last for another 2 months. Just a couple of miles down the coast, they've already tried the seawall solution. It's not working. Michelle Levy spent $90,000 on giant boulders trying to save her home from the sea.
The homeowners here are not wealthy people. I mean, we're working people, and we have gone to great lengths to stay here, and some think that that's foolish, but when you live here, it's very hard to give it up, and we're trying our best to buy time and stay as long as possible.
Levy and her neighbors want FEMA to help them strengthen the wall before their situation becomes an emergency. Given her experience, Levy has doubts a seawall will help the homes on Esplanade Drive.
It's going to be enormously expensive, and I think the city will have to decide if it's worth it in that location to save that bluff.
FEMA officials say even their seawall solution is a temporary one. Susan Reed, CNN, Pacifica, California.
Well, there has been an awfully big storm in the midsection of this country. CNN's Byron Miranda is standing by in the Weather Center with the latest on that. Byron.
Very much so. Let's take a look at the southwest, Lori, and you can see snow flying from Colorado into New Mexico as well as into Arizona. There has been snow into Utah. That is beginning to abate as this system progresses towards the northeast ahead of this frontal system. But first, blizzard conditions from the central plains back through the southwest. Now ahead of this frontal system where the warm air is in place with that cool air from Canada coming down, interacting with this moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, thunderstorms. There have been numerous severe thunderstorm warnings and watches, as well as tornado warnings and watches, especially through Louisiana. Not to leave Texas out, you've seen some thunderstorms as well towards the western section of Texas. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's a big system. I'm going to get out the way, and we're going to start in Texas, show you 3D animation, fly through the rain showers through the southeast. Look at all the rain towards the northeast, and then a little bit of snow into New England. This is how it is shaping up over the next 24 hours. Precipitation-wise, out west, quiet. Pacific Northwest, a little bit of rain down into Northern California. San Francisco, the next several days looks dry. Good news for the folks in Pacifica. PM snow into Salt Lake City. Most of the Four Corners region from Colorado into New Mexico, dry. Blizzard conditions from, let's go, anywhere from Des Moines, Iowa, through Green Bay, back through the middle Mississippi Valley. Ahead of this line, ahead of that blue line I put on the map there, rain showers. So Chicago, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, New York City, Philadelphia. Everybody over here will see rain, heavy rain, 1 to 4 inches. Some places could see more than that. Flooding will occur through the southern section of the U.S. with the thunderstorms, with the unstable atmosphere. You might even see some tornadoes through the southeast over the next 24 hours. I hope that is wrong. I hope this forecast shows that only we're going to see heavy rain showers through the southeast. This is how it looks during the morning hours. Let's take a look at the forecast. Cities around the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Have more news after the break.
Give me land, lots of land beneath the starry skies above. Don't fence me in, no, no, no. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. But don't fence me in. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Can't look at Holland.
Embassy Suites. See what a difference a stay makes.
Save your pennies. It's gonna be twins. Twins? The bonus you counted on? Not gonna happen. You're kidding. In the fall of 2002, your mother-in-law's gonna be moving in, along with all 18 cats.
Wouldn't it be great if you could talk to an older, wiser version of yourself?
Bank's gonna be turning you down on your mortgage. Turns out that they did you a favor. The house is on a fault line.
With generations of insurance and other financial experience, a money agent is the next best thing.
Be nice to Lansing, my new assistant. He's gonna be your boss.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
Reliable Sources is coming up next. Here's Bernard Kalb with a preview.
Just ahead, the president and the intern. Can the media revamp its tarnished image? We'll take our show on the road to the museum for a special panel, including the Newsweek reporter who helped break the story and NPR's Nina Totenberg. That's next on Reliable Sources.
And coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern on The World Today, they share a political ideology and more. China's social and cultural ties to Cuba. Alaska's 26th Iditarod sled dog race got its ceremonial start Saturday in Anchorage under sunny skies. The race officially starts Sunday as some 63 teams will battle to be the first to cross the finish line in Nome, 1,000 miles away. Wearing yellow glare goggles and waving to the crowd, defending champ Martin Bucer drove a team of 12 dogs. Drivers will add another 4 dogs tomorrow, bringing the team to 16 for the official start of the race. 3 other past champions are joining Bucer for the big event.
In Washington, the best and the brightest among America's high school scientists are competing in the Westinghouse Science Talent Search. As Luis Schiavone tells us, thousands of dollars and a lot of opportunities hang in the balance.
They are consistently brilliant.
My project is concerning hurricane prediction, and I use relative entropy, which is a mathematical measure of disorder.
And consistently on the cutting edge of science.
The idea behind it is trying to discover whether man-made ecosystems that are now being created, specifically wetlands, are equal or equivalent to the natural miracles of Mother Nature.
This is a group of students that are really able to make discoveries that can change the world.
James Marsden of Los Angeles took his father's sailboat 7 miles off the Pacific coast to study the environmental impact of treated wastewater.
What we don't know is exactly what's happening to the ecosystems near where all this treated sewage is being discharged.
Scientists, doctors, mathematicians, engineers, in fact 5 Nobel Prize winners have emerged from this 57-year-old competition.
These are the scientists of the new millennium. But after the year 2000, the Westinghouse Foundation will no longer sponsor the Science Talent Search.
Following its corporate merger with CBS, Westinghouse sold off its industrial and electrical units and its self-described ties to a science competition. But close to 100 other sponsors are anxious to foot the bill and spread the good news about science to a nation whose students lag.
It's not something done just by some specially gifted subset of the population. It's something that anyone can decide, if they're interested, to go in and make their own.
Encouraging words from a Nobel laureate who insists a sound foundation in science is the birthright of citizens of the 21st century. Luis Schiavone for CNN, Washington.
Now, if I could just run the VCR. That's WorldView. Exactly. I'm Gene Randall in Washington. Have a good week, and good night, Lori.
Exactly. Good night, Gene. I'm Lori Dew at the CNN Center in Atlanta. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for Reliable Sources.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wiles of communications.
On this morning show, we'll put your favorite deodorant to the test.
And the pitfalls of French toast.
But first, squirrels, woodchucks, and groundhogs, the grim realities of suburban living.
Looking for news in your morning news?
The breath mint. Is it the key to a more successful love life?
Watch Donna Kelly and Leon Harris with the latest news, straight out of the newsroom on CNN's Early Edition. More news, less talk.
Coming up, America's love affair with the corn dog.
Sunday, meet the people who shaped our world and played a role in the biggest stories of the century. Time turns 75. A special impact Sunday.
Get ready for the sun with a Wolf tanning bed from Pool & Spa Depot. Buy local and save. Pool & Spa Depot, Nashville's Wolf tanning bed headquarters.
Across the globe, across the street. The Red Cross is in your community every day, keeping families safe. But we need you too. Call the Red Cross, because your help can't wait.
You're invited to share the dream with HGTV's Coastal Dream Home Special. This February, journey to South Carolina's Bermuda Bluff Island for a tour of this one-of-a-kind dream home, built especially for HGTV with the help of Coastal Living magazine. We'll examine the design and construction of this southern beauty and explore nearby Atlantic sea islands and landmarks. Brought to you locally by...
Check for details in your February Intermedia newsletter.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
7 weeks and counting on the story that Americans have.
Carolina's Bermuda Bluff Island for a tour of this one-of-a-kind dream home built especially for HGTV with the help of Coastal Living magazine. We'll examine the design and construction of this southern beauty and explore nearby Atlantic sea islands and landmarks. Brought to you locally by...
Check for details in your February Intermedia newsletter.